You have a quiz tomorrow.
Not a quiz.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You what?
Oh my God,
Well, you can. It's kind of what you would like to do. If you're going to do what Isabella's been doing, which is color in her notebook, I would say that that's counterproductive.
Oh yeah, very good.
So the issue is, this is your time. All I'm asking you to do is 1 through 13.
Oh,
Really?
That's it.
I did 1 to 15. I was thinking 1 to 18.
That's fine. Yeah, I still cannot put grades in because they haven't put Power School stuff in
it's
yet.
very
It's
smexy piece of paper.
wow.
Did you say about me there?
So the issue is, attendance is done on a piece of paper.
You have to tell me to be a doll.
So, I have nothing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, apparently I'm wasting my time talking. But the issue is, I can't put grades in. When I can put grades in, I will. So do you need to do a warm-up? No. You do need to do questions 1 through 13. So the textbook is here like it's always been. I haven't trained the 7th graders how to do this. I would not spend the whole class period on just zooming through the questions. Sometimes you guys waste a lot of time on, goofing around and so forth. That's not going to help you. The quiz is already, I made it on Sunday. Oh, actually I made it on Monday. So it's ready to go. It is very hard. No one has survived it.
Is that why there's only 4 freshman people?
Well, it could be. So the issue at hand is, no one has survived it because, well, no one's taken it. But yeah, this is what we're relegated to. Yesterday we didn't even have email. So I had to make copies of the previous day's one and then put yesterday's date. So I'm getting kind of, how should I say, tired of this system. So it's up to you how you proceed. I'm here to answer questions. So you can do some? Come on up. If you look,
So bad.
there's questions 1 through 13.
Can I sit on a stool?
You want the stool? Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Sullivan, how was your hot date night?
It was sort of hot, but I also did 2 loads into the, from the apartment over, and that was chaotic.
Okay.
I thought you were in.
Who wants 1 through 6? But those are boring.
Yeah, he pointed at the blue one just down the
Oh, yeah, that's not mine. I'm the green one.
That's where my dad used to live.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna start with number 6 because 1 through 5 are just a tad boring. I'm sorry.
They're both.
Anyways,
Wait, well, don't
boring?
people still need to know it?
yeah, but we'll go back to them. We'll go back.
Oh, okay.
We're starting with 6. Starting with number 6. Number.
Wow.
The steps of scientific method.
Wow.
Wow.
A must be used in every science investigation.
No.
B must always be used in the same order. C often start with a question. D always result in the development of a theory. What is number 6? C? That is correct. 6 is C. Good job.
Sexy.
Sexy?
Sexy?
Number 7.
I know.
In a controlled experiment. Anybody know?
Random.
A control.
That is correct. Derek with number A. Number A. Uh-huh.
I
A
was gonna say
controlled
C, but then I heard
A
somebody say
controlled
A,
group
and
is
then
compared
so I
with one or more experiments. Yeah, and letter 2. Letter number 8.
Number
Which of the following tools is best for measuring 100 milliliters of water?
Oh, that's D.
B. B is correct.
I said D.
Number 9. Which of the following is not an SI unit?
Hey, wait, B is correct?
It is B.
I'm so smart.
Are we all at number 10?
B.
Okay, we're at number 10 now.
A.
That is wrong. Number 10. A pencil is 14 centimeters long. How many milliliters? What? Wrong.
A.
D.
It's B.
It is B at 140 mm.
So last thing of them B.
Number 11. The directions for your lab include the safety icons shown below. These icons mean that
You should wear safety goggles already.
Use protection.
what letter is that?
Use protection.
B?
D.
Okay,
Or
D.
D, yes.
Are you dyslexic?
Maybe a little. It's D.
Hey, Bella Thorne. I have everything stuck on.
Hi, I'm Bella Thorne and I have dyslexia.
Okay, now we're on to the boring ones. Okay, number 1.
Booger King foot lettuce.
Number 11. D. 12. Number 12. List 3 ways that science is beneficial to living things. Were you ready for this big boy answer?
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
simplify it for us?
Science can be used to find cures for diseases.
Hold on.
Do you want me to turn the air off?
Yeah, we'll call it
Are you done with
what?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Cures for diseases?
Yeah.
And then number 2 reason to understand animal behavior.
Okay.
You might understand your balls too.
Okay, we're not dogs.
Woof woof.
You're an animal.
Okay, and then number 3, solve environmental problems.
That's all in 12?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Problems.
Yeah, I have them.
So, for example, if Danica lets out one of her boyfriends into the wild, and because
One of them.
he
I
has,
have one.
you know, experienced that, he causes total
Okay, what's number
destruction.
13?
Number
Wait,
13,
what's the second one for 12?
understand animal behavior.
I'm just trying to do
Number 13, why do hypotheses need to be testable? They need to be testable in order to be useful. If no information can be gathered to either support or disprove a hypothesis, there is
Hypotheses?
hypothesis. Then there is merely an idea that cannot be built upon scientifically. Shush! I'm talking. Danica, give me a second to use my big boy brain.
Yeah, I didn't physical.
Hypotheses need to be testable in order to be useful. Write that down.
Vegetables
If they have to be testable.
for hypotheses.
If no information can be gathered to support or disprove,
Oh my god.
then it
I need information.
For what? Festivals for what?
Whoa.
for it to be useful. Are you deaf?
Yes.
What was that for information?
After can be gathered to either support or disprove.
Can be
I know.
gathered.
Me either. I might useful information.
Yes, either.
If no information can be gathered to support or disprove. Write that down.
Information.
Okay, what's that disproved?
It is then just an idea that cannot be built upon scientifically.
Is that all?
Okay.
God.
Okay, do I have to start from the beginning? Right?
Yes.
Hypotheses need to be testable in order to be useful. If no information can be gathered to either support or disprove, then it is merely an idea that cannot be built upon scientifically.
I'm after used. Can you like slow it down?
Danica, don't laugh. Listen, I'm tired.
What's after idea?
After idea is it cannot be built upon
Why
scientifically.
don't you just paraphrase it and put it all in your own words?
What's
Yeah.
after B?
Oh my god, Be gathered. I've already passed that. You
Okay.
said what's after.
Hypotheses. If you cannot test your hypotheses and you can't prove it or not prove it,
Then it's not
then
science.
it's just an idea that you can't prove. And that's worthless. It's trash. It's trash.
Its mother is disappointed in it.
Yeah.
It has mommy issues.
That's kind of like, it doesn't work at all. If you don't think it works.
Can we just get a close-up on how hard Z May is working? We're gonna look back at this YouTube channel in 20 years and be like, what were we doing?
Nah, you're just gonna do that.
I don't think you even know now.
I'm gonna be successful in life.
Okay, you ready for number
Are you
one?
sure about that?
No.
Mary?
Oh, yes.
Okay, number one. Life science and scientific methods. You can use scientific methods to study life science.
You
Mrs.
can.
Everly, please call the office. Mrs. Everly, please call the office.
What was that your method?
Methods to study life science.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, Derek, you ready for number
Look,
two?
look at the high-tech stuff that
Okay.
Isabella's doing. Show.
Oh, it's deep.
What is that? Circle.
Madison,
Show the sea life. Show the sea
What
life.
kind of flag is that?
Okay.
Look at this.
Number two.
Jellyfish.
Controlled experiment
Jellyfish
is
sexual.
variable. A variable is part of a controlled experiment.
Okay.
Wait, what did you do? What did you just tell me, woman?
Number two, a variable is part of a controlled experiment. Danica, what number are you on?
I'm on two.
Okay.
I'm on 13 still. I have a slow brain. Very slow. Slower than my running.
Mhm.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Danica, put your hand up when you're done with number two, please.
Number two, what?
Yes. Follow order.
Put your hand on your head.
You mean her
On her
redhead
head?
hair?
Yeah,
Or
just
her-
Danica though, because everyone else is already done.
blonde.
Okay. Damien's on number three. Damien's cheating. Terrence,
I'm done. We're
Derek,
done.
you done with number two? Yeah.
Why is my head
Terrence,
more? You feel this
Danica, are you done?
I'm almost done.
Probably.
It's a sentence, Danica. A single sentence. With simple single words.
Okay.
Number three. Theory and a hypothesis. Hypothesis.
Yo!
A theory is an explanation for a broad range of observations and hypotheses.
I'm gonna use it for English.
Big words.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you need that again, Danica?
I
Yeah.
got it right here.
Number 3.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to number 4. Hey, don't eat that. Don't eat that. That. Okay, Danica, are you done?
No, you can continue on without me.
Okay. Derek, number 4.
Yeah.
Compound light microscope.
So does that mean?
Yo,
we haven't had lunch yet.
A compound light microscope uses light to create an image. Okay, light microscope, lights. Electron microscope, electrons. Easy, big brains.
Ow.
Information okay, now you
to disapprove a
Oh, I just wrote that.
You won't mind.
Terrence, are you done with your question? Number 5, are you good for that? Number 5. Area is a measure of the surface. Volume is a measure of space or size in 3 dimensions. Okay,
You're on
I'm
camera.
retiring.
About time.
Do we need to get you a cold
Private
water?
copy.
Why?
You said you're retiring. Usually we give you a cold water.
Olivia needs therapy because of Danica.
Yeah, Danica.
Sullivan needs therapy for.
Kaden, may I vlog?
Yeah, I think so.
May I take it on a journey? Can I vlog?
She's annoying.
No.
She wants to vlog.
Can I film Danica?
Sure.
Okay.
Just make sure you turn it on. Look at this hard work.
This is literally what we do for it. Damien, what?
You
out
do that. And you
What is happening?
All right.
Can't flip camera.
If we take a look, since some folks are still finishing up the
Danica.
There we go, at the
You know,
table.
Danica, she's through all students, so you have to yell at her. Do you understand the question?
Please the camera that way. If you want to see the table.
Where's the double microscope?
Which question is that?
Oh, I found it.
Compound microscope and electron.
Okay, move.
No, his face is that.
Madison, ended.
If you look, it says, give an example how life scientists might use computers and technology. That's number 14. What did I use yesterday as an example of using computers? And, well, we could do that. Could, it might. What else? Predict. What did I say that they did to me when they injected me with radioactive dye?
Isn't MRI?
It wasn't MRI, but it's close. It was a nuclear magnetic resonance imaging.
See, that was going to be my next guess.
So, in order to process all that data, they needed a computer. If we were to think about it, if we have a life scientist that is actually studying climate impact on, let's say, a species of animals, then they might need a computer to process all the data points. My computer program that I first wrote for each data point that I had, or for each component of an ecosystem, I could have as much as 250 data points. What on earth am I talking about?
Yeah.
Well, let's say I'm looking at a field. I could fly a drone over a field, and of course, when I was trained to become a drone pilot, I'm a pilot. Interesting thing about it was we had a special program that we could use to fly a drone, and it would record. And then, depending upon the kind of image that we got, our instructor at Lake Region was actually also a farmer. And what he would do is he would tell his drone to look at the field, and he could plot moisture patterns. He could plot patterns of, let's say, sugar content in the corn. He could also look for infestations of insects, like corn borers and stuff like that, nematodes. And he could do all of that while he was flying. So for each point in that field, he could record temperature, soil, all by using his camera. And in fact, he actually flies sometimes for Kenners. He's flown for a lot of folks. He's in this area quite a lot. He also uses his drone to inspect wind turbines.
What's his name again?
Well, you can look him up. He's a professor at Lake Region.
What's his name though?
Look him up. So in other words, you would have to go to Lake Region, and you would have to look at drones or that kind, agricultural sampling technology, and you'll see him. You'll see 4 professors, and he is currently the youngest one. That's there, and he is a farmer. The family farm is actually just north of the college. They've been the family's been here probably for 150 years. So in other words, then I could use a drone, and I could have that camera, and depending upon what I teach that camera, that image means, I could have it mean many different things. There's also another type of, another type of drone technology that uses laser. And what it does is they're flying them over all of the forests in South America looking for new Maya sites. And a lot of work is being done in El Mirador. When is this class over? Okay, so we got plenty of time. What they do is they fly drones. They can also attach it to the bottom of a fixed wing aircraft, and they fly over. And this type of imaging technology, they put out about 100,000 pixels or images per second. It spins and sends out that many laser things. And they're actually able to peel away the trees, and you can see the ancient settlements. The Maya, the Inca, Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan is another whole thing. They predate the Mayans and also the Aztecs. And all of the images that they have is kind of, if you start playing Forge of Empires, Mr. Herman, on your book, your thing, you're in deep doo-doo land. I will send you to the office.
What?
Okay, whatever that is. So the issue then is, as we're using this, we could use all kinds of computers and all kinds of technology to number crunch, even though we have one camera looking at all this stuff. We can teach that camera that this means different things. This image, we can peel it away if we're clever enough. Like they peeled images of the radioactive dye in my heart. Yeah. So if we start thinking about that, that would tell us a lot of images. One of the things that they discovered by using this new technology was, the Mayans and the Incas built their civilizations, their cities, in places where there were no rivers. What was their source of water? Some of these places, cities had populations of over 100,000 people. Where'd they get all the water? cenotes. Look up the word cenote. I think it's basically like a sinkhole that's filled with water, and it's a whole underwater cavern system. That was the basis of their actual, water supply. And they also paved all their open areas with a type of plaster that they would have to cut down all the green trees. They would start a fire and they would bake the limestone from the area, the rock. And what they would do is that actually channeled water into, yeah. So did I spell it correctly, Cenote?
No.
Oh, I didn't. So you can see, so that's how, now some of the places like Tulum is near a river and also near the coast. But most of them were not. And Teotihuacan, which is a huge pre-Aztec place, city, population, when we were still, hunter-gatherers, they had a city of over 100,000 people. And that was based upon green obsidian, green volcanic glass. If you remember, they actually use obsidian knives, and what they would do is they would go, oh, there's Terrence. We're going to sacrifice Terrence to the sun god. And what they would do is, it was an honor. And they have these ceremonial green obsidian knives, which were extreme. They had the world's source that you couldn't get anywhere else, the green obsidian. And basically they traded it. They were excessively wealthy. Excessively. I mean, bucks they had.
These?
Yeah, green obsidian knives.
Kind of cool.
So, yeah, it is kind of cool.
Yeah, of course it looks kind of cool.
But they would use that to stab into your chest, and they would rip out your still beating heart. So, Terrence, that would be a bad day for you. Well, yeah, fresh is good, I guess. So, so then we have on page 31, lists 3 types of models. We didn't know all this stuff about these ancient cultures, about all the life science around us, until we started doing models. And we were testing our ideas. We had physical models, like the eyeball. When you were in earth science, we had a model of the earth. And we were talking about the different layers, the mantle, the outer core, the inner core. The models tested it. It turns out that a lot of these early cultures, because they had these plaster that lined all their squares and everything else, eventually it contaminated their fields, and their culture collapsed because they couldn't grow any food. The limestone plaster that they used on their roadways poisoned their crops. We didn't know that either until recently. So there's a lot of new stuff, but we've been able to test the modeling. And then what are some advantages and limitations of models? Well, yeah, they're not the real thing. But also, I always remember at the time of Charles Darwin, they had these models in this big exposition of what dinosaurs look like. And they called them terrible lizards. And they would walk along the ground on all 4. And they were dumb and stupid. and they didn't walk on. We only found out by sheer dumb luck that somebody in the American Museum of Natural History in New York put the wrong head on what was called a brontosaurus. There is no brontosaurus. It's an apatosaurus. They put the wrong head on a different body of a dinosaur. If you look in the movie Jurassic Park, that's a brachiosaurus, and like Dr. Grant says, think of it as a big cow. Well, of course, it's 90 tons. It's a big cow, all right. You know, if it steps on you, but they were very, very, how should I say, good at stepping around things, because, you know, they didn't want to step on their babies or their eggs. And then we used to think that dinosaurs were cold-blooded. They most definitely were not cold-blooded. New modeling, new ideas. We started looking at, they were not cold-blooded animals. And in fact, the big question is, did the dinosaurs really die out? All the birds that we have out here, they're actually living dinosaurs. So next time a bird takes a dump on you as you walk out the building, maybe he's going, take that for 65 million years. So the issue is, yeah, they're living dinosaurs. Are the big lumbering monsters still? No. Well, alligators is a different group. And they used to think that the alligators, yes, they were, or was it crocodiles? Look it up. How long have alligators? So as we're looking at this, and then SI units, it talks about in question number 17. If you're trying to do a calculation or something, do you want it base 10 or you want it base 12?
12. 10.
10 because you got you can use your hands to help you count different things. Yeah. So, and it starts talking. We have a small fire. And we say to Derek, okay, we want to do a study. What's that?
Sloth.
Yeah, and we actually had sloths here in North Dakota at one time. They were the giant sloths. How big was a giant sloth? Pretty big. Bigger than the average bear.
I would say so.
Yeah. So what's the difference between a cave bear and a short-faced bear? Look it up. We actually had both here in North Dakota at one time. So as we're looking at this stuff, we've learned a lot of stuff. We now know the dinosaur. Did all the dinosaurs, were they as warm-blooded as we were? Well, sort of. So did you find a short-faced bear versus a cave bear? Kind of weird looking, aren't they? They're also pretty big. Wow. So as we look at these things, can anyone tell me why people are trying to bring back the woolly mammoth?
To study.
Why? Well, why? Well, I can't remember what the one was called in the movie Ice Age.
Oh, Manny.
Manny, yeah.
Manny and Peaches.
So, you know, I don't know if we bring one back, if its name is going to be Manny or not. But the point is, we don't know why they went extinct. They only disappeared 4,000 years ago. That's it. They survived the Ice Age. They also had blood that had antifreeze in it. We don't know if we pushed them into extinction. We don't know.
We did, definitely.
Well, a lot of people think that, but we could be wrong. We were wrong about the dinosaurs, weren't we?
So if we drink enough antifreeze, we can be like a woolly mammoth.
No, you can die.
Oh.
Which is like a woolly mammoth.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
Smart.
yes.
It says amid a warming climate and widespread human hunting, extinct the woolly mammoth.
That used to be what we think. We're not 100% sure. We're not. So we now have a complete set, actually multiple complete sets of woolly mammoth DNA. We can bring them back. The big question is, what could they teach us? They could teach us a lot. Does anyone know how many people were alive at the end of the last ice age?
400.
And it was somewhere between 200 and 2,000.
You were?
That's
in the ring.
it. That's it. Before that, they estimate there was probably 6 million humans alive. So we almost didn't make it.
Yeah. But why I say zero? Because you wouldn't be here.
Wow.
It's just my intelligence.
So you're just AI.
Yes.
So don't pull the plug on his Chromebook. He'll disappear. So the issue then is there's a lot we don't know. Like why did some of our more closest related ancestors, why did they die out? We don't know. You know, and yet we didn't even know that we interbred with Neanderthals. So, ladies, you know, if you see a big hairy guy, and it's a Neanderthal, wow, could be your hot date. You know,
Do we comment that?
I'm not going there.
I asked if we could comment that.
I know that was kind of funny. I let that kind of go. So the issue at hand is we don't know a lot, and as every day marches along, we are learning more and more and more. We're testing models, and one of the things that they're trying to do with bringing back the woolly mammoth. One thing that they're thinking about is that when we get into space travel, is there survival how should I say, tools or skills that a mammoth had that we might need to go from here to Mars? We're studying animals to see, is it possible for a human to truly hibernate? See, bears actually don't hibernate. They're deep sleepers. Grizzly bear is the closest, but even that doesn't go. You know, there's very, very few true hibernators. A good one would be a groundhog, where you pull it out. It takes about 45 minutes for the groundhog to reanimate. You go into a black bear den, you swat it on the butt with a whisk broom, your breakfast. They do slow their bodies down, but they do not slow their bodies down as much as they do on that movie I showed, Passengers. So, in the case of the woolly mammoth, we know they had something that was akin to antifreeze that helped them deal with the cold. Same thing for some of these other animals. Do those animals have traits that we might need or could use. If you remember that movie, those of you that's watched that, and I think that was it was Chris Pratt was in it, and Jennifer Lawrence. They couldn't. Eventually, at the end of the movie, he figured out that he had a way to put her back into suspended animation, so she could hibernate. There was only one device on board that ship. So imagine how much food, how much energy and everything else, if we wanted to send you to a new planet, like near Barnard Star. To get to Barnard Star, that's 10 light years. It probably would take us about 40,000 years to get there. Well, if we put you in hibernation, you might be able to do that. So as we're looking at all these wild theories and interesting ideas, testing these ideas is something that we can use the scientific method for. And you're alive at a time where there's a lot of stuff being researched and new stuff. When I was a youngster, well, not that young, I was excited because the first man walked on the moon and the space program. Yeah, Neil Armstrong. I stayed up so that when the Eagle landed, I stayed up, I think it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, when Neil Armstrong, Earth time, went ahead and walked on the moon, and we saw it live. Wow. So that's pretty, so I've seen stuff that you guys have not seen. So, but imagine being able to walk up to a woolly mammoth and then Manny taking his foot and squashing you like a buck. No, I didn't say that. So there's a lot of cool stuff.
I mean, not like that, like smash with his foot.
A lot of cool stuff going on right now. But you also are facing some huge environmental problems that, I don't. Global warming can turn North Dakota back to an arid desert. This was a desert at one time, yes. So, that can happen in your lifetime. Miami can disappear in your lifetime. New York City can disappear in your lifetime. Wow. So there's a lot of things. So you need to bring your A game. So as we look at all these things, it of course it shows the concept mapping. This particular one is in my textbook. Is there going to be concept mapping thing on the quiz? Yes. Have a nice day. So, questions that you may have for me regarding the quiz.
Can I take a nap after the quiz?
Can you take a nap?
After the quiz.
It's up to you. Guys, if you're not on a, we can track where you're going on your Chromebook. Some people, like during whatchamacallit, I call it advisory. You guys call it power hour. When you guys come in, they can see where you've been and what you're doing. Well, you know, that's between you and well, we had some issues with folks getting online and doing stuff and harassing other students using the Chromebooks.
I remember
Yeah.
when I used to text on Teams, that was like 2 years ago. That was
I
8
never
years
have.
ago. What? That was 8 years ago.
Yeah. So, you know, I would be careful. So do you have any questions for me about the quiz? You may want to use my book to look up, because there will be concept mapping.
How long will it take?
It will take us our entire life.
Like pretty much the whole class.
Well, it might.
Or our entire life.
If it doesn't, then we can do something else.
Party.
And we can vote on what it is that we want to do.
I'm dying in 60.
Party? I don't think party is good.
I'm dying in 61.
You're dying in 61 years? Why?
I died in 72 years.
I'm supposed to
I
die
died
in
in 2094.
2083.
I died in 2084.
Dude, you died a year after. You
All right, let's see how many questions we've got.
Guys, look how pretty my girl is.
How do you explain this?
Send my own back there.
There's 18 questions in the whole thing on concept map. Oh, this one's hard. So,
Use that 15%.
Yeah, one of that 20 Well, I'm on it all the time.
Yeah.
I play a bunch of games.
are you ready? Stop.
I'm just gonna go see the fish. I'll try to. Dude, oh, I see him. Like, he's hiding. Oh, I broke the window.
Fire on for like a minute, and then at the end of the voice memo, all of them ended with, "God dang!"
Oh, welcome to Hot Water.
Are they trying to jump up? Jump on your face.
Yeah, and then.
No, they were literally going to apple.
Hello, Kaden.
Oh, you're going to go up. He's going to go up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there he is!
My face was like this.
Oh, you died?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, they saw it.
He's Keter.
Now this is our new device. If I am not, right now I'm trying to build up a supply of stuff for classes. This is the new script. I need to get.
You can do whatever you want with this. I don't really care.
I fight like a fever.
As long as it gets past editing. Your boyfriend.
Whoa!
Jeffree Star. As long as it gets past editing, it's fine.
Hold on, can we get a slow-mo shot of this? Hold on.
This is their newest thing.
I put this piece of food in there.
Let's see. Stop.
Yeah.
Just... Wow. Wow. Filmed by me. And that's the bell.
Well, that'll be everything.